How's your day going there?
It's going well. It's going well. I'm in LA right now. So yeah, just kind of getting things going, but it's nice. It's hot.
If you were anywhere but LA, given this film, I think that would be a letdown. If you said, well, I'm in Arkansas right now, you go, interesting.
Up, I'm out here in LA. We got the Hollywood stuff going strong.
Exactly. I'm getting different answers from this from every single person I interview. So I'm going to ask this. When did you finish your movie?
Oh my gosh. This movie, it's an interesting thing because well, multiple layers. One is we were going to release it theatrically through Mexico, and that was the plan. And then the pandemic came up, and then we were like, well, what do we want to do with it on that level? And also, before we were going to release it in Mexico, we did a promotional tour through Mexico because we were going to release it in the theaters there in like over 3,000 theaters.
Yeah.
So that was one aspect of it. And then another aspect of it was making an independent film that's such like a large scape. Like halfway through making this movie, I was like, whose idea was it to use all of these actors that are working actors that have working schedules of like, whatever TV shows they're on.
Right.
And then all of these crazy locations, and so yeah, it was it took longer than one would have initially anticipated, but I think that the project's better because of that. If on an independent scale, like if you were going to if we didn't wait on things and didn't kind of like work around things, I would have had to use different actors, would have had to use less locations. So the time in there allowed for things to be more colorful and flavorful and like have more of like a unique texture than they would otherwise. But yeah, it took a while. It took a while for sure.
I was figuring it to be a pre-pandemic movie. Also with the fact that you directed, you co-wrote, you produced the movie. So it's not like you just showed up for 8 days and then disappeared.
Right, exactly. And that's something I think so interesting about moving from my background as an actor, because I started when I was 7, and doing all those different movies and television shows, and then doing directing is that like directing is such a bigger responsibility. It's such a bigger responsibility, which is awesome. But like, I mean, you're the first person there and you're the last person there. When you come in for acting, you're like, oh, cool, like who does my hair and makeup? I'm here for a few, and not always, sometimes it can be super labor intensive, but like you're there for a limited amount of time. You're just like one piece of the puzzle. So it's more relaxing, but it's also more fulfilling, if you, get to, have your hand in all these different areas and help conceptualize stuff from the beginning and, follow it all the way through. It's more rewarding.
This isn't the first thing you directed, but did you know outright when you were co-writing this film that you were going to be directing it?
Yeah, the plan was always, so the way that this project came together was I had directed several short films and music videos, and I wanted to do a full feature. The thing about music videos, which is so cool, is music videos get in front of everyone. And that's fantastic. That's an interesting medium. But short films don't necessarily find audiences across the board because a lot of the people who are interested in short films are more like heavy film connoisseurs, like film buffs. But the general audience doesn't necessarily get to see them. So I was like, I wanted to do a full feature that would get in front of the masses and get in front of a lot of people. And so that was the idea when we started writing this and putting it together, was that I would direct it, and it would be something that'd be full length. And for the storyline for it, I went ahead and wrote what I knew, which is like growing up on sets and with the Hollywood stuff. And so I decided that it would be really fun to do like the Hollywood, like, name dropper, ladder climber, networking, mover and shaker, sell out your bud, do whatever it takes, group of people. I was like, that would be hilarious. And I feel like, even though it's comedy and it's satire, I was like, I feel like there's some authenticity that like I could bring to the table with this, in developing these characters. So that was fun. And then for the other part of the movie, that takes place in Latin America, My dad actually is a gemologist in real life. And so I was like, okay, like we can add some, authentic character in that direction too. And it's a good juxtaposition of like the Hollywood stuff and then Latin America, which is just as colorful. And then with him being a gemologist, I knew that we could add in some like Mayan folklore, which would be so cool. That's connected with the enchanted jade. Because like the Mayans, I actually went with him on a jade buying trip, which is a whole nother thing. But the Mayans will bury their deceased with a piece of jade in the mouth so that the souls can pass through to the afterlife. And so there's like, there's actually like this, like, I wouldn't say curse, but I mean, this like enchanted jade that's coming out of these tombs down there. Sure. And so I went with my dad on one of his trips to buy jade. And these people tried to sell us jade from a tomb that came out of someone's mouth. And I was like, no. But so that just kind of like we were able to develop and get all those flavors in there.
Yeah, that is complex stuff. A topic or two ago, when you're talking about directing music videos before a feature like this, that's very interesting to me because of how many top directors in Hollywood right now started off doing music videos. Like just off of the top of my head, McG, who did first the Charlie's Angels movies, was Sugar Ray's buddy from childhood that did their music videos. And F. Gary Gray, who did Straight Outta Compton, he did lots of videos. And did you ever have that in the back of your mind as in, well, all these people made it, directing features were first music video people, or just coincidence?
I think music videos are a really cool, they're a really cool art form because they're so, they can be anything. They can be a narrative and tell a story, or they can just be, exploring a theme or like exploring a tone. So I think like the creativity that they lend to, that they open up to is so cool because you're just entertaining someone, and trying to be righteous by the song for a short period of time. I was super excited. During the pandemic, I was actually able to film a music video. I filmed one in Arkansas.
Arkansas comes up again. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's where I spent most of the time for the pandemic. I was out on like a ranch. There was no cell phone service. I had to hike 1.5 miles up a hill to make a call. Like, it was crazy. Coronavirus wasn't going to come get me there.
I can imagine.
I was hiding out. But so we filmed though, which was fun. We filmed and we had the crew came out from California, and then the artist came out and his whole group, they came out from Nashville, and everyone met in Arkansas and kind of stayed in these little pods. But we shot the music video. The music video went up on country music television, which is so cool. And then it just got nominated for Music Video of the Year for Josie Awards, which I believe are the largest independent music awards.
Wow. Happy accident, to say the least. I don't think you were helming this and going, I think I'm going to make the video of the year here.
I mean, gosh, we'll see what happens with it. But yeah, it's so exciting that it's nominated, and I'm going to go. I'm definitely, that sounds like a fun award show to go to. It's in Tennessee in September. So
cool. Fingers crossed for you there. But also on the musical end, I'm not spoiling anything because it's in the trailer. We see the Boxmasters in the middle of your film. How did that one happen? Did you know Billy Bob from one of your older roles?
It's a funny thing. So the movie has a lot of awesome cameos, and so getting them to jump in was so fun and such a treat. And everybody in the movie is all people that I know from working in Hollywood with stuff. And so they gave us a couple of songs for the film, and then there's the animation of it. And it's just so cool. It's a fun cameo. We also, for cameo stuff, we have Brian Krause, who was on Charmed forever. He does a cameo. There's a lot of fun cameos in this, but the music on the film is great. So Lendl Black, who was our composer, Lendl Black won a couple of Emmys he does the orchestra work for Yamaha. And so, yeah, so he's won Emmys for his work. And so he, there's a lot of original score, a lot of original music. And then apart from the original music that's in there, then we have the Boxmasters with Billy Bob Thornton. And I had fun with that too, because I heard that song of theirs, Glendale. And the lyrics to that are just like to die for. They're so funny. And I knew that within the film, I wanted there to be a section that reminded me of like old school buddy comedies. And so I was like, I need a sing along for this. Like I want, we've got the Mayan priest, and without giving too much away, the Mayan priest and Ben, my dad, in the film, and they're singing along to it, and the lyrics are wacky.
Right. Well, having finished the film, because let's face it, it's not easy to come up with an idea and finish the idea, especially in the film world. With this experience behind you, and of course you're still doing press on this, like this interview here, but do you want your next project to be one that you have your hands totally wrapped in like this one?
It just depends. I mean, I feel like I like being hands-on with stuff. I like being involved. I like this whole movie I cast with people I'd worked with. It's all friends that I love dearly, and I love. For me, one of the big rewards with directing is the collaboration. Is like the mending of the minds, like getting together with people that you think are talented and that you respect, and like hearing their opinions on stuff, and going back and forth. But ultimately, like, if you respect them as artists, just letting them do what they do, and like making sure that it matches with the narrative of the story, but like letting them not micromanaging, letting them do what they do. So I like that. I think that I think I would always want to be pretty hands-on with stuff. I think just showing up and directing stuff, if I wasn't overly involved, wouldn't be as rewarding. Unless people want to pay me a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
That's actually a really good point. Some people take the gig because it pays well. Some people take the gig because this is for me, this is an artistic statement, this is something I've been meaning to do, this is something that has my muse in it. So there's nothing, shameful these days about taking a cash gig if it helps fund the next passion project or two or three.
That's true. I do think that there's something really cool though. I will say, when I go back through different people's work, like whether it be a director or an actor or something like that, if they've like held on to a certain level of integrity, it's so cool to go through their resume list, and like, because I feel like it's an easy way to watch a great selection of films if they've been curating their career the whole time, because there's something like that offers in each one. There wasn't quite a a sellout moment, but selling out's always good too, I guess. I don't know enough about any of that stuff.
Pros and cons. I mean, as long as you don't have to do your Orson Welles frozen peas commercial or your boxed wine commercial, I think you're going to be fine.
Oh no, he did that? I never saw that.
Yeah, that's old Hollywood kind of stuff where, you do your most genius work, but maybe it's slow between jobs, so you take the cash cow kind of gig. And unfortunately, that lasts longer and longer than some of your other things, thanks to YouTube.
That's funny. Well, I know like one of the big things is people do those commercials, like, but you do them overseas.
Yes.
You hope they don't make their way back.
Yeah, I remember one time when I was in Spain, every billboard, every like 6 billboards was Ed Harris shilling for a Cavassier or something like that. They're out there, but yeah, hopefully they don't come back here. And back to you here. Do you know what the next project is, or you just have to be quiet about it until Deadline.com says it's okay?
Well, I've got several things in the works. The pandemic has kind of moved stuff around. I'll let you know before deadline. Get in there and snipe them. So I've got a series of educational children's films that I've been putting together that I've been working on for a while. So those will be fun. and those I'm more on the producing, writing side of things.
Mhm.
And then I've got a documentary that kind of explores some different artist backgrounds that would be music related. And so that'll probably be the one that I shoot next. Can't talk too much about it yet, but yes, I've got that one on the page. And then I've got a historical drama, but this one's like very, very, very large scope because it's like takes place in the 1920s, and it's a beautiful story. It's a real story. It's about a boy who comes from California, and he starts jumping trains and heading south in order to look for work. And so he stops off at all these different places, meets different characters, has these coming of age experiences, and then moves on to the next one, until by the end of the film, he's like had this huge character arc and progressed so much where now he's, this young adult man. And it's a beautiful story. Some of the stuff with when things start slowing down with the pandemic will be a little better, because to shoot right now, for something like that, it costs more because you have like more of like this pod stuff going on, and the extra amount of money that you're spending is not necessarily going up to make the project look better. It's not in production. Yeah, it's just sort of like random expenditure. So that's something, you know what I mean, when you're looking at budgeting right now too. You're like, well, I don't know, maybe we'll hold off a little bit longer.
Well, this is a compliment. It sounds like, based on how different those projects are from Hollywood.con, sounds like you can't be pigeonholed. It's not like it's easy to say, well, her next film is going to be blank. And is that by design, that you're unique project to project like that?
It's just sort of going with the flow and like what's coming together. I think it's as long as something's artistically rewarding, is where I'm at right now with making stuff and the collaborations. I want to collaborate with people, that I really respect, and I think that you can only grow from that,
Great answer. Well, 2 quick questions, then you're free. First one is, besides Hollywood.con, do you have a recommendation for a newish, recent-ish film or TV show that you can recommend?
Ooh, what genre?
Anything really. The floor is yours.
Okay, well, I am personally, I haven't started watching it yet, but I'm looking forward to watching the new season of The Handmaid's Tale. I want to check that out. I watched the other 2 seasons. I like that. Third Day on HBO with Jude Law was really fun, and Emily Watson, who I love her. She's great. I think she's such a gem, and that was fun. It's a is it like I don't know if it's a full TV show or a mini series, but it's got like 6 to 8 episodes on it, and it's mysterious. Things are getting worked out. What else have I watched recently? I watched The Undoing with Nicole Kidman and Hugh Grant. That was good as well. But the Third Day was what had something that was the very like kind of special. And oh my gosh, they filmed that in I don't forget how you pronounce it, but basically it's like it's on an island, and they actually filmed there. It's on an island, and then there's the road, and the tide goes up, and so you can only leave certain parts of the day, which adds to the mystery of it. And they actually filmed there. I was like, what is, like, wow, talk about adding to the budget.
Yeah, intense. No pods there. And then the closer, and feel free to promote yourself as much as you want. It's any last words for the kids?
Any last words for the kids?
Sure.
Watch Hollywood.con. You're gonna love Hollywood.con. It's fun. It's an adventure. It takes you all over. You'll be in Mexico, Guatemala. You'll be in the sand dunes of Yuma, Arizona. There's camels. There's wildebeest. There's a lot of weird, wacky characters. You get to go to Hollywood. You go to Latin America, Enchanted Peace and Shade. And it's just a fun, goofy, good time. You don't have to think about it. There's nothing religious, no politics, no sex, no guns, no violence. Like it's easy watching.
Well, congratulations on actually getting it done, getting it out, and fingers crossed that we're going to see another project from you very soon. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Have a great rest of the day there.
You too. Bye.
Paltrocast.